thousands of years, it has been hidden from those who seek its infinite powers. Now,
they sent the key to her in the form of a sister.
Dawn will uncover the truth.
She's gone.
She is the key.
They sent her to me. We have to find her.
An all-new Buffy.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
And this week, we will be slurping into Season 5, Episode 13, Blood Ties.
Yes, we will. Season 5, Episode 13, Blood Ties, slurping. It's all so sexy.
Sexy as I want to be. You know what I'm saying? What?
So how you doing this week, Jeremy?
I'm here. I'm good. You know, I had a little bit of a maybe a little bit of a backslide on my illness, but you know, nothing.
The AIDS.
Yeah, the AIDS. Nothing major. You know, it didn't kill me. I'm not. You know, I'm not in hospice or anything. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it.
Oh, I'm used to it.
All right. James, how are you doing, my friend? Long time no see.
I'm all right. Can't complain.
Well, I mean, you could, but no one would care.
Yeah, that's probably true, too. Probably true.
Yeah.
How do you feel about my new shirt?
I feel the way I feel when I'm naked and I look in the mirror. So totally turned on.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Did you pick that up at the Seeth, Tueth, Eeth, Tueth?
I did.
Nice.
I did it.
You did it. Nice. In case any of you listeners, you listeners who might not be watching, he is sporting a Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirt, and I believe that is a publicity photo from season uno, if I recall.
Either the first or I think this might be season 2, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's season 1, but we'll go with your wrongness.
I don't know that I'm wrong, but maybe. But I feel like it's season 2.
Okay, so it's definitely season 1.
It's definitely not season 3 because literally every piece of season 3 promotion had Buffy, Angel, and Faith in it.
Yeah. And it had hardcore full frontal nudity.
I don't know that that's accurate.
No.
No, I don't believe.
Maybe I'm Maybe I'm thinking of Buffy, the Vampire Layer.
Yeah, if you're thinking of Buffy the Vampire Layer.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, my bad. I get them confused sometimes.
Which only lasted one season on the Spice Network.
Right.
Back in
oh, man. That takes me back. I'd forgotten all about the Spice Network. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you're of the correct age, you just had a major mental orgasm. Yeah. The Spice Network.
Yes.
Anyway, why don't we spice it up with a little bit of dates and deets on this week's episode?
This week's episode is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I am Dracula.
I am Dracula. I'm here to suck your blood and eat cheese and drink wine.
Oh, man.
Throwback to episode 1 of this season, everybody.
Episode 1 of this season, and Jeremy's inability to do a Romanian accent.
Yeah, so Dracula became French. He wore a beret and ate baguettes the entire episode.
Oh man, good stuff. Good stuff.
Good
Yes, as
stuff.
previously stated, we will be slurping into the 13th episode of the 5th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the 91st episode of the series overall, Blood Ties. This week's writer is Stephen S. DeKnight, and our director is Michael Gershman. It was originally broadcast on February 6, 2001 on the now defunct WB network. And before we go any further, Jeremy, I did not go back to listen to the tape from last week's episode to see if I got the director wrong. So I do not have an apology to issue or not issue to you at this point. But I will do that sometime in the near future so that I can tell you you were wrong. Our regular cast, as always, includes...
I didn't either, but I do have a copy of the episode sitting right here on the desktop that I will be checking during our magical break hour.
Our regular cast, as always, includes Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, Nicholas Brandon as Zender.
Zunder! Hey! Zunder! Come here, Zunder!
Nicholas Brendan is Xander. Allison Hannigan is Willow. Emma Caulfield is Anya. Michelle Trachtenberg is Dawn. James Marsters as Spike. And Anthony Stewart Head as Giles. Our guest stars this week include Claire Kramer as Glory, Charlie Weber as Ben, Troy J. Blundell as Jinx, Amber Benson as Tara, Christine Sutherland as Joyce, Justin Gorance as Orlando, Michael Emmanuel as... no one fucking cares about them. Never mind.
Yeah. No.
We don't give credits to characters that aren't given names in the script.
But I will say that last week in your summary of the episode, last week's episode, you railed about how we do not see the Byzantium Knights anymore for like 8 more episodes, but they're actually in this very episode.
They're in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah. Well, and then the middle.
Either way.
So again, yeah, I'm just saying again, you were wrong.
Either way, yes or no, do they play an intricate role in the season going forward?
Of course not. They're utterly ridiculous.
Okay then. Our Nielsen rating for this week, 3.3. Okay. Ranking it 91 out of the 136 primetime shows airing across network television, and number 4 out of the 17 primetime shows airing on the WB that week. My synopsis for this week's episode reads, Dawn runs away on Buffy's 20th birthday after finding out that she is the key, and the Slayer and the Scooby Gang must find her before Glory does.
Wow, bury the lead. Mine reads, when Dawn learns her true identity, she runs away, only to encounter Glorificus.
Okay. I mean, they're both pretty similar.
Yeah. I think brevity is best.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what all your girlfriends have told me. How? What? I mean... Okay.
I don't know that it was that funny.
Okay, fine.
So we open up on the Scooby Gang, and they're talking about plans for the Busters 21st, as well
20th,
as how to
not 21st.
Or 20th, sorry. As well as how to deal with Glorificus. And Giles lets everyone know that he fills in on what they've learned from the Watchers Council since the last episode, and it turns out that Glory is a god from a demon dimension who found her way to ours, and even though she is immortal and apparently indestructible due to being stuck in human form, she's also pretty much batshit crazy and needs to suck the mental faculties from humans to survive, which explains the ever-increasing population of nut jobs in Sunnydale. Xander thinks that they should go looking for this key that Glory is so desperate to find. And everyone starts to go all in on that plan, resulting in Buffy and Giles having to admit that they know exactly what and where the key is and that it's fine. Of course, this results in the requisite butthurtedness of certain members of the Scooby Gang.
Especially when they find out the key is Giles' penis.
Right, because everybody wants to see that.
Right, and they're all like, what? All this time, it's just been right there dangling in front of us?
Mm-hmm. Right. And Willow's like, it's been Daddy the whole time?
And she's like, listen, I know I'm gay now, but I'm not that gay, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Xander and Willow, of course, are the ones that are all butthurt that the information wasn't provided to them, and this results in Buffy telling them all the truth, saying that they deserve to know that Dawn is in fact the key, since they're going to be putting their lives on the line to protect it. At which point we cut to
and they're all like,
woods.
It's Dawn, and we're out. We're all out. We don't even like her. We're out.
Right. At which point we cut to the woods, wherever the fuck those are in Sunnydale, and we see several of the aforementioned Knights of Byzantium sitting around a fire, kumbayaing and circle jerking each other off. And Jinx, who of course is one of Glory's little scabby minions, shows up, and then Glory shows up, and she proceeds to decimate the entirety of the Knights of Byzantium, except for the dude we were introduced to at the end of last week's episode, whose name is Orlando Bloom. And, Orlando Bloom, except for him. And that is our cold open.
Yep. Orlando Bloom has been taken hostage by Glory. And he will be beaten severely about the neck, face, chest, breast, and head.
Yes.
And
that's actually not far from the truth. We can actually just go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, when we come back,
Glory ends up torturing him and sucking his brain out. So
through his urethra. Which is, it's an interesting twist on how she's been doing it, but
right.
She's like, listen,
and Jeremy, what does she use to do it?
Her whore mouth?
Glory Snatch.
Oh, that's right. Damn it, Glory Snatch. And she's singing, humming the.
Wow.
Canceled. Times 4.
Canceled.
So we cut back to the magic box, and Dawn shows up, and she starts with seeing Willow and Tara first, and they're all awkward and kind of weird around her. Then she goes inside. Like, everybody she encounters is being super awkward and weird. I'm like, wow, all these years, and boy, have you guys learned nothing. And you cannot seem to, like clearly Buffy and Giles were the only two who should have known, because they're the only two who can fucking play poker.
And ironically, fucking Joyce. Like, Joyce hasn't been weird around her either since she found out.
Yeah, true. Of course, that's because half of her brain is eaten away.
She's got the brain AIDS.
Yeah, well, she's
got the brain AIDS.
She's a Kennedy, so she had the brain worm.
Or she was lobotomized for depression.
Right. I'm sad. Let's cut out half your brain. Okay.
I don't feel happy. Lobotomy.
Yeah. It's lobotomy. Lobotomy. It's better than bad. It's good.
Let's all get a lobotomy. Let's all get
A
a lobotomy.
Let's all get a lobotomy.
'Cause I'm feeling sad.
And sit around and drool. So
Canceled.
yeah, again, it's we really angered all of our lobotomized listeners. We have really fucking we've really done it this time, James. So at one point she gets to Xander and Anya, and Anya's like, how does she say? She's like, you make a very nice human girl, or something like that. And
something like that.
Xander's like, we need to fuck off because you are the worst. And I'm like, she kind of is, yeah. But yeah, everybody's being horrifically stupid around her. So, or wait a minute. Yeah, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I got confuzzled. So Giles is walking around. You notice him carrying his little book that he seems to always have. It's like his little notebook or whatever. He's really just drawing dick pics and boobies and stuff in it all the time. It's page after page of boobies and dick pics.
And dicks. And then there's like 3 whole pages that he's just signed his name,
real professional.
Yeah, like he's practicing his signature.
Yeah.
And then there's another page where it's just him. He's signed his name Rupert Raines. A bunch of different ways. And
then there's another page where he's trying to come out with like cool 80s ways of writing Ripper. Right. So, but listen, everybody's got to have a hobby,
Everyone needs a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that.
But he ends up putting the book down, and the camera makes note of that, as does Dawn. But yeah, the whole scene here in the magic box, it's just, I don't know. Nobody even mentions it, like Buffy or Giles, neither one. Like, you would have thought they would, when they told them, about Dawn, they would have had a conversation with him and been like, now listen, you're all grown fucking adults at this point, okay?
You all need to be fucking cool about this, okay?
Yeah. Don't be acting like fucking idiots when she shows up and fumble fucking all over your words and saying stupid shit. All right? Well, apparently they didn't have that conversation. So then I would bet dollars to fucking donuts that they did have this conversation. This group of buffoons just couldn't manage to do it. Yeah, true.
We should also mention that Dawn is also very much notices the fact that everyone's being wonky around her.
And they're all wanking around her, too, which is incredibly fucking disturbing because she's only 14. But yeah, we should definitely make that known that she's very much, and she keeps bringing it up, like, why is everybody acting fucking stupid? And Xander's like, well, I mean, we are all stupid. And she's like, well, okay, that tracks.
That's true. That's right. That tracks.
Then we cut to the Summers home, and we're having a birthday party.
A little birthday celebration.
Birthday celebration with lots of wine and cheese. Canceled again by the French. So,
sorry, French listeners.
There's a lot of presents there. Did you like that table's like packed with presents?
Right, for someone who's got 5 friends, there's a lot of gifts there.
Yeah, I'm like, did each person bring like 3 presents? Because fuck. So she's opening them up, and I love Anya. She opens up one, and it's, what is it? Some kind of blouse or something like that. And
yeah, it's a shirt.
Yeah.
Blouse,
and And Anya's like, "Oh my God, I love it. I want it. I want all these presents." And I'm like, "Damn, poor girl. Have they never thrown her a birthday party since she's been fucking human? Like, fuck." And then Dawn gets up at one point and says, "Here, open mine," and gives it to Buffy. And it's like really kind of shoddily wrapped and whatnot. And Buffy's like, "It's not going to explode, is it?" And she opens it up, and it's just a casting of a hand with the middle finger, and it's just right at her. And Buffy's like, "Wow, bitch!" And Dawn's like, "Listen, that's how I feel about you. I'm sorry."
That's how I feel about you, Buffy.
She's
how
like,
I've always felt about you.
She's like, "I want you to sit and spin, bitch." And then she just turns around and walks away.
Right.
And,
and Joyce is like...
Joyce goes, "Yeah."
Right.
But, no,
everyone's in shock as Dawn walks away. And then they like kind of look to Joyce like, you really should be mothering right now.
Yeah.
And Joyce is like, she's just saying what we've all been thinking.
Yeah. And even Giles, dude, he's going like that. And he leans down to Buffy and he's like, "You just got knocked the fuck out." And Buffy's like, "I hate all of you." And she leaves. No, so when she opens the present, it's a picture of the two of them. And Dawn says, it's from that summer we went to see Dad. And I was like, yeah, like that happened. Like you've ever seen that good for nothing sack of shit. Anyway, she's like, when we went to visit Dad in San Diego, and she's like, we picked up all the shells ourselves, and she put the shells they picked up, like glued them around the picture frame. And Buffy's like, "I do remember." And I'm like, "Do you though? I mean, I don't know." Anyway, so she gets emotional, and they hug, and she gives, like, she looks at, like, when she's hugging Dawn, she looks at her mother, and she gives her this, I don't know, like, maybe it was, I don't know. I have trouble saying it was bad acting because it was SMG, but I was like, whoa. She's like looking at her mother like, "Motherfucking bitch, I'm going to fuck you up when this fucking party's over." Like, I want you to go back sometime and look at the way she's looking at her. Like, she's looking at her with like daggers. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like she blames her for not really being Dawn's mom. I don't know. It was really weird. I found it strange, at least. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know, because that's not what I got from that exchange.
But I
got more of like,
it's weird.
I got more of like a sadness look between the two of them. Like,
I got the feeling where she was just like, "When this is over, you're getting cut," and I was like, "Wow."
I think maybe you were just projecting your hatred of Joyce.
That could be. That very well could be. Listen, that does track, so I'm not gonna doubt it. So, we cut to later on, and Buffy, Mom, and Giles. Yeah, I think it's just those three are in the kitchen. And they're talking kind of about Dawn and, the key situation and all that. And at one point, Buffy notices Dawn in the dining room kind of eavesdropping. She's like, "Dawn, what are you doing?" And Dawn's like, "I ain't dropping no eaves, sir. Don't turn me into a frog." And sorry, that's my Samwise Gamgee. I need mental help. Yeah, so she's like, "Oh, just getting."
Speaking of Samwise Gamgee, at C2E2, I was able to attend the reunion cast panel of the entire Fellowship.
No one cares. No, really? That was there?
Yeah.
Were they all there?
Yeah.
Vigo was even there?
Well, no, not Vigo.
Okay, so the whole Fellowship
and not
was
Orlando. And not Orlando.
And also not anyone else, right? It was a fever dream.
No, everyone but Vigo and Orlando were there.
Really? I have a feeling you're incorrect about that.
Okay.
Well, I'll list some. Was Sean Bean there?
Okay, so who are we considering the Fellowship?
No, the Fellowship is clearly... Oh, don't get me started on my Tolkien. The Fellowship is clearly laid out when they leave Rivendell the first time. This is the Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
And there were, I believe,
fair enough.
9, I believe, total.
Okay, fair enough.
Was
fair
Gandalf
enough.
there?
No.
God damn, son.
Okay.
So who the fuck was there? Fucking, God damn it. I'm drawing a blank. Shit. So the 3 hobbits were there.
It was John Rice Davies.
Okay.
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Pip and Merry.
Dominic
Moynihan and
yeah.
Shit, I can't remember the other guy's name now.
Shit Dick McGee.
Shit Dick McGee. Yes, and what's his face? Frodo.
Oh, I thought you said him. Yeah, I just assumed you. Yeah. So basically, it wasn't even nearly a full reunion of the Fellowship, right?
It was the 7 Fellowship members that typically make the con rounds.
Right. Because the rest of them all have pretty decent careers. And they don't need to go to cons.
I actually got the impression from the panel that they're doing it because they actually enjoy doing it. Like, they really seem to enjoy being together.
No, it's a lie. They're doing it for the money.
Not like the Breakfast Club reunion panel, which it was clear that nobody on that panel liked each other.
Really?
Or even wanted to be there. Yeah.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Because all of them were like, they were all part of the Brat Pack, you know, they were all.
Right.
Wow. That surprises me. Huh. So, back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Where did I leave off? Okay, so she's like, oh, I'm just getting some plates, and she fucks off back to the party, and they continue talking shit about her and how she's a bitch, and none of them like her, and they're like, that little bitch is gone. Let's finish drawing the fucking mean pictures and shit of her. Xander and Anya get fucking weird again when she comes in the living room. And so then she finally just cuts into everybody, and she's like, why is everybody acting like fucking douche canoes around me? And basically, of course, they all give her a bunch of baloney horse shit that she can see right through. And so she's like, you know what? I'm out. And deuces, and she does this. She flips everybody off, and she goes to her room. And I'm like, I don't really blame her. And while she's up in her room, she makes a voodoo doll of Buffy and begins stabbing it. And Buffy dies.
Yeah. Buffy dies.
Credits. No more Buffy. No more
Buffy.
She sneaks out of the house. She climbs out of her window and down onto the ground. And who's waiting on her? Spike. And he immediately fucking, like, burns her with a cigarette because he's got one hanging out of his mouth. And I'm like, damn, dude, he about set her hair on fire. And he's holding that battered ass, fucked up box of chocolates from last episode. And
the funny thing is, when he burns her with the cigarette, that's how Dawn finds out that she's the key.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because he's able to harm her, so she's clearly not human. So
I think it's been established that she actually is 100% human now.
I was trying to, you know what? You pop in here with people being on fucking fire and shit all the time, and I just play the fuck along. I just play the fuck along with your little shenanigans. I try to have a little fun. And you're just like, no.
Dude, no. You got me with the beginning of that, man. You know what? Fucking choking on my candy over here, dude. I kept thinking, oh my God, I'm going to swallow this and choke to death on podcast. Oh, you got me with that one, man. Woo! You're all like, you know what? Woo, boy. Okay. Shit. So anyway, God damn it. Dawn finds the whole him having chocolates there that he's going to bring to Buffy. She finds that whole thing very funny and weird. And she's like, look, I'm going to the magic shop. I'm going to break in to steal some shit. She's like, you want to go? And he's like, okay. And off they fuck to the magic shop. And she's standing there while he jimmies the door open, and they go on in, and they're looking around at different things, and Spike's like, so is this like a smash and grab, or are you just going to take some cash from the till? And I'm like, geez. And she's like, no, I'm looking for a book. And he's like, what, fuck, all this for a book? And she's like, well, it's not the book itself, it's what's written in there, and blah, blah, blah. And she goes over behind the counter, and she's like, okay, he was right here when the book disappeared, so where could he have put it? And she's reaching under the counter and whatnot, and she apparently finds some little lever, and she hits it, and boom, it pops open a little secret door. And that's where Giles keeps his booby and Dick journal at. And she gets it. She's flipping through the pages, and she's like, geez, what a whack.
God, what a fucking pervert.
Right.
And she scans past the page where, again, we see, he's written Mr. Rupert Raines, a bunch of times, and then 2 pages later it says Mr. Rupert Angel, and then,
Mr. Rupert Angel.
Mr. Rupert Spike.
Spiky Ripper. Hey. She looks at
Rupert
Spike.
the Bloody.
Yeah. She looks at Spike and she's like, there are 36 pages of dicks and boobies in this. And Spike's like, listen, I lived with the fucking guy. I know.
Right. And then she's like, and what is this? And she holds the book up, and it's just a crude stick figure comic panels of Giles and Spike having sex.
And Spike's like, you don't need to
look at that.
Don't, just look away.
Just don't look at that.
He's
please.
like, listen, I was under his control at the time, all right? And he's like, and then Dawn's like, but then why is your stick figure smiling so broadly? And he's like, you know what? I don't fucking like you. And I don't know why I came with you. So anyway, we cut to them sitting, and she's going through the book, and she's having, Giles is describing the key as he's figuring it out. And then it finally comes to the point where it says, and the key is Dawn Summers. Dawn Summers, the girl who is the daughter of, no. No, it pretty much does, though, when in the book, as he's, and she's remembering things like, oh, the snake attack and yada, 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 and blah, blah, blah. She's putting everything together until it does basically say, when he figures it out, Dawn is the key. And, they had to send it here in the form of something that the Slayer would protect with its life and blah, blah, blah. And in that form, it is Dawn Summers of 1342 Sunnydale Drive. And here's our exact GPS location. So And then, of course, Spike, being Spike, he reads it too, and he's like, "Oh, that must mean you." And it's like,
yeah,
oh, you're such a dick.
You're right. Like, you're such a damn it, Spike.
Like, you're 200 years old. You could have at least been like, "Oh, you know what? I'll bet this. Since I don't know about it, I'll bet this is something she doesn't. That they might not want her to know. Maybe I should pretend and be like, I don't know what you mean, Dawn Summers of 1632 Sunnydale Drive." So anyway, Dawn basically loses her shit. Well, you can tell that she's losing her shit. Then we cut back to the idiots. I'm sorry, the Scoobies, and they're discussing Riley for some reason.
This is so weird. Like they're like they can't believe Riley hasn't even like sent Buffy a message for her birthday. And like, okay, two things. First and foremost, they fucking broke up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you or anybody else listening, but I don't think I've ever reached out to an ex after we've broken up and been like, "Hey, happy birthday."
Oh man, my year is full every year. You wouldn't believe how much I spend on Hallmark every year for exes' fucking birthdays. It's crazy.
And two, it was made pretty clear in Into the Woods that where he was going, there was no contact with the outside world.
And Buffy even says that, but she's still like, but I don't know if that's like how that really works. And I'm like, well, it works the way it sounds. No contact with the outside fucking world. And number three, at this particular moment, with everything that's going on and everything that's on the line, why are we even talking about fucking Riley? You know? Like, you all just found out that 14 years worth of your memories are bullshit, or, well, actually it'd be, 5 years of their memories are all bullshit.
Well, 14 of Joyce and Buffy's memories, and like 4 of everyone else's.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a huge mind fuck. You just found that out. But you know what? We should sit around. We need to discuss Riley at this point in time.
Right. And I don't know, correct me if I'm misremembering, but Buffy didn't sit around moping about Angel leaving Sunnydale this long.
Right? And he was supposed to be the love of her life. You know, Riley was just a little bit of a fun bone, you know? I mean, geez, learn how to hit it and quit it. That's all I'm saying. So at one point they're talking and Tara looks over Buffy's shoulder and she's like, "Oh shit." And everybody turns around and Dawn's standing there with a kitchen knife and she's gashed her arm open. And she's like, "Is this blood?" And they're all like, "No, it's pudding. Why would you ask us that?" And they all go over with spoons and just start spooning it off out of her. And they're like, "This is the best chocolate pudding I've ever had."
Right.
And Dawn's like, "Oh, okay." And then she cuts her own head off, and you know they keep eating pudding. No,
and then, like they're eating as they're like scooping it up, and they're like, "Oh, this is the best pudding I have." Bill Cosby comes in,
and starts raping everyone.
Whoa,
No.
I was gonna make a joke about making pudding pops out of Dawn, but Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Oh, my bad. Listen, I thought this was a podcast based on realism, so I just assumed, well, if Bill Cosby's there, he's raping literally everyone.
Wow.
Even himself.
This is fucking escalated.
Like, when you're a rapist of Bill Cosby's level, you even rape yourself. Like, you don't even get away unscathed. You know what I'm saying?
You don't.
So, anyway, Bill Cosby the rapist is there, everybody. So they're all like, "Oh, shit." And she's like, "What am I? And is this even real blood? And am I even real?" And they're all like, "No. Honestly, bitch, you fake. And you thirsty. Get the fuck out." And, no. So they try to calm her down, and then we cut to where everybody's leaving, and they're all like, "Ooh, yeah, so we're just gonna leave now. Later." And Buffy's like, "Okay, thanks." Giles is the only one to say, perhaps I should stay, help, try to explain things. And Buffy's kind of a cold-hearted bitch.
I was gonna say he's like, maybe I should stay, just in case. And she says to him, "This is a family thing.
Fuck off."
What the if Giles isn't considered family, then what the fuck?
Listen, okay. Let me break this down to you blonde-headed fucking bitch. Rupert Giles is the finest adult you have ever had in your life. And he has been both mother, father, and teacher to you. And you have the fucking stones to look this man in the eye and say, "No thanks, this is a family affair," and close the door behind him. Oh, man, there's little things like that some of these writers do that make me want to just be like, they don't even watch the show, do they? They don't even watch this show.
Because literally, and this isn't, like, there isn't a direct example of this, but there will literally be times where something like this happens in an episode, and yet one episode before that, or even 2 episodes before that, we have it made crystal fucking clear to us that Giles views Buffy as a surrogate daughter,
and that he literally loves her more than anything, more than himself.
Right?
Yeah, I know, and it's yes, it's very fucking annoying when shit like that is done. Like it should have just been assumed that Giles was going to be staying and helping them to try to explain things to Dawn and whatnot. Because he should have been like, "Okay, I'll go too," and then she would have been like, "What? You're part of the family. We need you." Just reverse that and make it not fucking stupid. Anyway, so now they're up in Dawn's room. Mom and Buffy are, and they're trying to basically talk her down from the ledge. She's having an existential fucking meltdown, which I'm not saying is like silly. I'm just saying she's literally losing her shit. And so they don't succeed. She's just like, "Get the fuck out of my room and don't come back." And they're like, "Fine, we're moving out.
We're moving out.
The mortgage is on you next month, bitch."
Right. Good luck affording this mortgage. You're not even real. Good luck getting a job.
Yeah. You don't even have his social security number, fakey.
Which, you say that, but then it occurred to me when I said that, "You're not even real. Good luck getting a job." Like, how far does this reality manipulation go?
Apparently all the way. These monks, just by chanting like 4 or 5 lines of gibberish, these monks were able to pull off some shit,
Right, like...
Sorry, I'm opening up my cocaine packet.
Like, did they give her a birth certificate? Does she have a social security number? Like, she must, right? Like, they
even started her with the 401k. And some diverse investments in some up-and-coming companies. No, it's funny. I know what you're saying. The next day, we're at the Magic Box, and what's going on there, James? Other than, the fire.
You couldn't even let me have that one, could you?
You know what?
You know what? I quit. I'm done.
Shit. James is quitting. Oh, shit. James is out, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. This is going to be a rough... We're only about halfway through, so this is going to be a rough podcast from here on out. But, wait. Okay, he's back. Oh,
back.
He checked his contract and realized that early quitting would result in...
Right.
Bill Cosby anally raping him.
Oh, wait, it will? I quit. We go to we're at the Magic Box the next day, and Buffy storms in and demands that Giles give her all the information there is about the key so that she can provide answers some Dawn. Provide answers some Dawn. Provide Dawn some answers. And I'm thinking, well, in theory, don't you fucking already know everything Giles knows about the key? Like, what? Why would he be keeping anything from you?
I don't know, bro.
It's at that point that some cigarette butts in an old urn catches Anya's attention, and that causes Buffy to realize that Spike must have been there with Dawn when she found out that she was this key that everyone's looking for. So then, of course, we cut to Spike's crypt, and what happens there? Buffy busts through the door and proceeds to smack him around a little bit. And, of course, she's, again, like, understandably PO'd with him that he let Dawn find out that she was the key that way. And Spike turns it around on her and is like, well, maybe you should have told her the truth in the first place. And, Dawn was going to find out with or without my help. And, he says that he was only along for the ride to protect her anyway. And, says that Buffy's only coming after him to make herself feel better. And Buffy seems to, like, find some truth in what Spike's saying, and she leaves, and
finally somebody gets through to her.
And she leaves, and then there's a brief moment where you can tell that Spike is not, like, he feels bad for what happened, and that Dawn found out that way, and that it's
well, and he brings up a perfect point. He's like, hey, I didn't even fucking know any of this shit because no one ever fucking keeps me in the loop. Right. So it's like, fuck off with this nonsense.
Yeah. And like I said, after she leaves, there's a moment before the scene ends where you can tell that Spike, he does feel bad that he's inadvertently caused all this turmoil for them.
Yeah.
So then we cut to the Summers house, and Dawn's refusing to go to school, and Mama Summers is trying to comfort her, and Dawn wants no part of that, so she goes off to school. And then we cut to the hospital, and Jinx is there, and he's threatening Ben, and Ben basically tells us through exposition to Jinx that, Glory knows that she can't hurt him no matter what he does. And then we cut back to the Summers house later on, and Joyce is informing Buffy that Dawn got herself suspended from school, and, Buffy's kind of trying to explain to Joyce that, as far as Dawn's concerned, nothing she does matters because she's not real.
Yeah.
And of course, Dawn is dropping some eaves and completely misunderstands what's being said. And she tears through her own room, burning. She fucking throws a bunch of her shit in her trash can and lights it on fire. At which point the
funniest part about how she lit it on fire, though, was she did the fart at the lighter thing. She lit a fart to light the fire. It was funny.
Right. Until her asshole caught on fire and she burned to death.
Well, she's not real, so we don't. Nothing lost.
at that point, the smoke alarm goes off, and Mama Summers and Buffy run into Dawn's room and see the fire and all the stuff torn off the walls and the missing Dawn. And we cut back to the magic box, and of course the gang is all there, and they split up to search for Dawn, and Spike's trying to comfort Buffy, and he's tells her we'll find her before anything happens to her, and she admits that Spike was right, and she should have been honest with Dawn from the beginning. And we see Dawn walking through a park in Sunnydale, and she's basically reliving past memories, but then like getting upset about them because she realizes that they're not real, and she ends up at Sunnydale Memorial Hospital, and she's in the psych ward. And what's happening there, Jeremy?
Well, I'll tell you what, there ain't no fire. Bill Cosby's there. Those poor psychotic people are all strapped down and shit. And he's just walking around in nothing. He's completely nude, except he has a tiny little fucking way too small for him doctor's coat on. And he's like, have the pudding pop, get ready to rape some crazy people. Wow. Sorry. So, yeah, she's in the psych ward, and they're all being, crazy. And she walks up to this one guy, and he's like, it's here. And she starts talking to him, and she's like, what am I? And he closes his eyes, and he's like, it's not talking to me. And I'm like, damn, that's got to be rough. And then finally somebody says, the key. What? She goes, what am I? And somebody says, the key. And she turns and looks, and it's the crazy Byzantium dude with the tramp stamp on his forehead. And she goes over there, and he's like, must be destroyed. It's the will of God. And, yeah, that's basically it. She goes to flee out of there because she's freaked out, and she runs into Ben, old intern Ben. Intern Ben is just happens to be walking by the psych ward, and he beats Dawn severely for intruding in a place she should not be at in the hospital. Takes a nightstick to her. It's really weird. No, he takes her down to like the break room area, and he's made him some hot cocoa, and they start talking, and she's kind of going over, what's been going on, and this scene gets escalated really quickly because she says something basically about, she basically just lays it all out because she's thinking, well, this guy doesn't know it. He's not going to get it, what I'm talking about. So she's like, and I'm the key and blah, blah, blah. And he freaks the fuck out. And he's like, he freaks like totally the fuck off. And he's like, you got to get the fuck out of here. Like right fucking now, because Glory is going to know. She always knows. And then Dawn's like, what the fuck? How do you know who Glory is, and what is happening? And he's like, you've just got to go now, get the fuck out of here. And then he's like, oh shit, she's coming, I can feel it. And Dawn's like, huh? And then all of a sudden, Ben morphs into Glory, who grabs Dawn, and she's like, don't I know you? Yeah. By the way, time out for just a second. Last week we were discussing what you brought up, how Dawn sees, well, without giving spoilers away, you brought it up about how Dawn sees Ben change into Glory, but never tells anybody. Well, it's because we find out later there's a spell.
Right.
That anybody who sees it doesn't quite remember how it happened. Okay.
Right.
All right.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't find out that there's a spell that keeps people from remembering that literally until the last episode, either it's either episode 21 or 22 that we find that out.
Right.
And it's another thing like the Knights of Byzantium. Like, this is introduced early in this season, relatively, and then they don't do anything with it until the very end of the season. Yeah. And they could have been having so much fun with this throughout the season.
Listen, they spent a lot of money in the budget getting Bill Cosby, so they,
that's true.
The Knights of Byzantium just kind of had to
pudding pops don't come cheap.
The Knights of Byzantium just kind of had to take a back seat to Bill.
But yeah, like this is the thing. Like, it happens in this episode. Ben turns into Glory. Dawn doesn't remember Ben turning into Glory, and then there's nothing about it again until it's either episode 21 or 22, where we find out that there's some magic mojo working to keep people from remembering that. But in between these 2 points, there's nothing done with it. It's pointless. It's useless.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I always wondered. I'm like, so when Ben was a little boy, if he would turn into Glory, would she like destroy his little kid clothes and like rip it, the diaper? She'd zoom in and have a diaper and shit on. That's oh, she'd be covered in poop. Oh, no wonder she's crazy. Where did I leave off? Fuck me. Okay, so now Glory's got her, but see, she kind of explains that she and Ben are two different people. So just because what you say to one doesn't mean the other one's going to know about it. So she's like, so what were you guys talking about? She's basically grilling her. And then Dawn is trying to kind of trick Glory into telling her more about the key, what it looks like, what it does, yada yada, which Glory does at first, and then she kind of realizes, well, wait a minute, this little bitch is playing me. And then she's like, all right. And then she's like, well, you know what? You don't know anything at all. Like, I'm wasting my time, but since you're here, I might as well go ahead and eat your brain, get some of that crazy juice out of me. So she goes up to her to give her the skull fuck finger bang, and that's when Buffy et al. Appear, and she says, "Get the hell away from my sister," and shoots her with a flamethrower, and all of a sudden it's aliens. It's really weird, but no, she punches her, and they begin their fisticuffs, and Spike dives in, and he gets pretty much wrecked immediately and not just completely KO'd. There's a funny part where Buffy goes to kick her in the face and she catches Buffy's foot and she's like, "Oh my God, those are such nice shoes." And I'm like, God, I love Glory. She's insane. So they fight. And oh, at one point, Xander comes up behind her and fucking houses her ass with a fucking crowbar. And I was like, hell yeah, Xander. But he, of course, gets wrecked too. And then the girls, meaning Willow and Tara, they like throw this, it just looks like glitter. They just throw it all over Glory. And she's like, you've ruined my shit, you little bitches. And then Willow goes, says some little thing, and poof, fucking Glory disappears. And then Willow collapses and has got like a nosebleed and shit. And they're like, what the fuck was that? And she's like, well, it was a teleportation spell and it's kind of fucked me up now. Thanks for asking. And they're like, where'd you send her? And Willow's like, I don't fucking know. That's kind of part of the problem. And then we cut to like, I don't know, about 10,000 feet up into the air over Sunnydale. And Glory rematerializes and realizes she's like 10,000 feet in the air. And she goes, oh, shit. And then you just see her falling like a fucking meteorite to the earth. So, So, then we cut over. Buffy's kind of taking care of Dawn because at one point Buffy dives in front of a spear kind of throw from Glory that was going after Dawn and takes her on the shoulder instead. And I love the part where fucking Giles goes to shoot Glory with the crossbow and it just fucking bounces off over. And she's like, really?
Yeah.
I'm a literal god and you're trying to shoot me with a fucking 15th century device. But she's like, you are real. You're my sister and I love you. And then she takes the blood from her shoulder and takes the blood that Dawn's got on her and puts their hands together. And she's like, Summer's blood. It's in both of us. And then Dawn's like, ooh, that's creepy. Now you've given me your syphilis that you got from your vampire lover. And no, so finally Dawn kind of gets it, and they hug, and she does say that that's pretty fucking sick, sis. And but it seems like she's coming to grasp with, at least for now, what she is and yada yada. And we have credits, and that's the episode.
That is the episode. Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to play everyone's favorite game, Body Count?
Ooh, this one's gonna be rough. 5.
8.
Damn.
Yes, we've got 4 unidentified minions killed by the Knights of Byzantium, 3 Knights of Byzantium killed by Glory, and then 1 security guard killed by Glory.
Yeah, the one that comes in and says, man, you can't be here, and she just rips his head, like literally just rips his head off.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
This is the first Buffyverse episode written by Stephen S. DeKnight, who fans of both shows will recognize as he's one of the more popular behind-the-scenes talents of the Buffyverse.
Close friends with Bill Cosby.
Our music this week: Star Ghost Dog with Holiday, and Thomas Wanker with our original score.
Dick
Jeremy,
Wanker! What?
Would you please tell me and our lovely audience how many scabby minions do you give this episode?
It's a solid 4, baby. It's a solid 4.
Okay.
It's a good episode. And it is, how do I explain this? It's an important episode for this season. All kinds of shit gets revealed. Ben/Glory, Dawn finding out that she's the key, plus the rest of the Scoobies finding out that she's the key. It's well written. It's directed well. There's literally nothing there's nothing egregious or bad about it. I don't give it a 5 because you know how picky I am on a 5, but
sure.
It's a solid 4 all day, and it's a vast marked improvement over the last 2 episodes. And it actually fucking matters. Like it's an episode that's actually like, wow, they do know how to make things that matter. And yeah, I'm not going to go on and on about it, but so many things, so many key moments in this episode of things being revealed that, yeah, it's a solid 4. And I'm going to leave it at that. You understand?
Sure.
James.
Yes, sir.
On a scale of 1 to 5, give us your rating. And I want to know on a scale of 1 to 5. I forgot what I was going to say. Son of a bitch. 1 to 5.
This is a 3.
Oh, okay.
It's a 3.
Okay.
I don't disagree with anything you said. I think it's an important episode. It definitely progresses the plot. It's there's some key elements revealed here going forward. We find out a little bit more about Glory. We find out more about the key and what it does. There's the whole Ben and Glory are the same person, so to speak, reveal, which I said earlier that it doesn't really come into play the rest of the season. Well, that aspect of the story does come into play, but the magic that keeps people from realizing that Ben and Glory are the same person is never revealed, and this whole forgetting thing doesn't come into play at any point again until the end, which I think is a wasted opportunity. But otherwise, yeah, for the most part, the episode's well written. Of course, it's well acted. I mean, even the shitty episodes are well acted. But yeah, I really don't have much to say about it. Like, it's a 3. I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to give it a 4. It just wasn't, like, it didn't tickle my scrot the way that I feel like a 4 should. But yeah, it's important overall to the story going forward. So yeah, it's a 3.
All right. Well,
and I feel, and I will say, I think this is kind of the first time that so far this season that we've gotten to see Michelle Trachtenberg kind of stretch her acting chops a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a little shaky.
I was gonna go the opposite. Like, I think, like, her scenes where she's upset, or the scene where after she's cut herself and she's, getting emotional about, what am I, it invoked some SMG to me. Like, it made me feel for her the way it does when SMG does those scenes, or the way it does when Allison has those scenes. So
I think Allison and SMG are the fucking best at those type of scenes and pulling those heartstrings. But anyway.
Yeah, so yeah.
All right, good deal. James, tell us about our website and why it exists.
It's BuffyRevisited.com, and it exists presumably because you were bored one day and didn't have anything else to do.
Basically.
Yeah. So no, it exists as a cohesive one-stop domain to find us on all platforms. You'll find a link to our email address. A link to our email address, BuffyRevisited@gmail.com, a link to our Facebook, a link to our YouTube. Any of those places, you can drop us a note about anything you want, preferably Buffy related, but ultimately anything you want. If you go to the Facebook page, you'll find weekly posts about the episode we're revisiting that week. Leave us comments in the comment section there. If you go to the YouTube page, you will get this, people. Try to wrap your heads around this. If you go to our YouTube page right now, you will see the video version of this very podcast that you're listening to.
At the same time that you're seeing it, you'll hear it.
At the same time that you're
It's Inception.
seeing it,
It's Inception. Let's just be honest.
It's Inception, right? And yeah. So, and if you go there, you'll also be able to leave us some little comments in the comment section. So feel free to do that if you want,
or not. No one cares. So anyway, thanks for joining us this week, everyone. Next week we're going to be gurgling season 5, episode 14, Crush. Orange Crush. Oh yeah. What do you think about that?
No, thank you.
No?
I don't like Orange Crush.
Okay, get fucked. So thanks for joining us, everybody. I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your other host, James.
Ta-ta.
I want to start
Explain. The Buffyverse.
I want to start your blood.
Revisited.